So, Ian and Gavin, I believe you're up. Your partnership, WindLab Developments and Hillwood Primary School. If we could have our two partners coming forward, please. Thanks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gavin Alcana, Hillwood Primary, and Hillwood Primary is located in Lavender Hill. Lavender Hill, labeled, known for gangsterism, for poverty, lack of parental support, substance abuse. That's Lavendale. Lavendale has been in existence for almost 45 years. The history of our school, Hillwood Primary, this year we celebrated 40 years of our existence. We were blessed for 40 years, but only after 40 years we received a school hall like this. We have 1,143 learners. We have no computer room. We have no library. We are challenged by the lack of parental support on a daily basis. So that's Lavendale, and that's Hillwood, and I'm 47. And I've been associated with Lavendale for 43 years. My parents were removed and they moved to Lavender Hill. And after 20 years, 1993, they moved out of the area, and then I started my teaching career in Lavendale. And after another 20 years, I became a principal. And in 2016, I joined Hillwood Primary as their principal. Hillwood Primary was without a principal for 3 years. I came to the school, the staff was demoralized. We faced vandalism on a weekly basis. And we started with the 3 Ps, and I think Hilton and all the Professor Johnson would also know in our community the Ps. And I started with our parents and with our educators in saying, let's have 3 Ps. Educators, be present. Be present on a daily basis. Be punctual. Be prepared. And for our learners, let's start a value system and our parents. And that's my passion for teaching. I've been in teaching for 24 years. And I've been associated with Lavendale, as I said, for 43 years. And when Ernest Moore introduced me to PFP, I met Ian. And it was with that passion for teaching to make a difference, and my passion for Lavender Hill, that I met Ian. But my initial motive, my expectation was to get money, because we don't have a computer room, we don't have a library, we don't have resources, we don't have a science room. And I thought, well, this is an opportunity for us to get money. The reality, however, was that I gained a friend. As somebody said, when you're a principal, it's a lonely position. And when starting at the new school, I started at Hillwood. The school was 40 years. And many of my colleagues were already nearing retirement age, 60. And they would tell you, I've been at the school for 30, 40 years, so you don't change things here. So I started in that. But I could listen. I was trained as an educator, not as a manager, not as a business leader. But speaking to my business partner, I could gain that experience. I could gain that confidence. I had that safe space in sharing to Ian and saying, look, this is what happened at school. My highlights have been that the school, and not Gavin Alcana, but Hillwood Primary has gained a business partner. Whenever Ian would visit the school, there's an excitement from the educator side. My highlight for this year was to be in a venue, to be exposed to guys that have more experience like Terence, and still from my tradition, I cannot call him Terence, but on a professional basis, from Terence, from Mr. Lewis, I could share in a safe space what Hilton has experienced, what Cuban has experienced. And that to me was great, because when I came to these meetings, and as Cuban has said also, that when you go to a principals meeting, you are exposed to systemic and what's your term performance. But in these safe spaces, you could share, you could be real. That to me was great. Our learners were, because of the connection of the business partners, our learners benefited. And this year, our learners met a 6-time world champion, boxing champion, and that to our kids, it was a wow moment. It was a big moment, because this gentleman shared his life with our learners from Capricorn and Overcome Heights and all these informal settlements. And then during the second term, our school was closed, or the Lavendale schools were closed because of the shooting, the gangsterism. People died on a daily basis in Lavender Hill. And educators felt unsafe, and learners felt unsafe, and parents kept their kids at home. And due to the support of PFP, we could put pressure on the education department, and we met with the Premier, and we met with the MEC. And it's a wonderful day today that we had certain demands, that we wanted the police there, visible. We wanted the satellite station. We wanted security guards. We wanted a new fence, because the fence exposed our learners to the shooting. This morning at 10:20, and my business partner doesn't know that, I signed with the contractors for a new fence. And that will be for 2018. And that is because of the partnership of PFP's support. And to me, that was more valuable than the money that I anticipated. Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin. My name is Ian MacDonald. I work with a company called WindLab, which is a renewable energy company which develops wind farms in Australia and South Africa and in sub-Saharan Africa. Our partnership was sponsored by WindLab, who's represented by my wonderful colleague Shaida over there, and another gentleman called Piet van Zyl, who's overseas. And how the Partners for Possibility works is that they have a sponsored program that sponsors this journey that principals and business partners go on. And it's a really incredible journey, this Partners for Possibility journey. It's very profound, very well structured. The courses that you do, the workshops that you do are extremely impressive and profound in terms of their realizations and the teachings that they teach us. And just how it's structured with the community of practice that gets together and shares experiences, and as has been said before tonight, is allowed to be open and honest and speak from the heart about matters that affect us all. And our COP was very ably and beautifully and sensitively led by Nadia the whole time. So Nadia, thank you very much for all that you've done for our COP for this year, and to make this Partners for Possibility program year that we've had. Truly spectacular. Thank you very much. So as Gavin has spoken about, he's given a brief overview of Lavender Hill and Hillwood and their values that they live by, which are respect and care and love. Can you move on, please? And as Gavin has also mentioned, one of the major challenges that Lavender Hill faced and Hillwood faced in particular was the gang warfare that really seemed to rise. And I think this year was one of the worst years you've had in recent history. And it just made me realize how incredibly challenging it is to run a school in these kind of environments. My children go to a school in Sun Valley, and the principal in that school says the number one thing that is important for him is that his children feel safe. He says, if you don't feel safe, you can't learn. So it's to have gang warfare happening outside, to have automatic rifles going off outside of the school that you can hear, having teachers having strokes and heart attacks because of the stress. These are the kind of challenges in environments where Gavin and his remarkable team are able to deliver still an amazing education to the children of Hillwood. As Gavin has mentioned, some of the highlights that he mentioned, there's the 6 times world boxing champion Cassius Beloy, who came to inspire the learners. That was all facilitated by Steve Burke, who's Terence's partner, who's not here tonight. And he just, out of his own initiative, arranged for this world champion to come and inspire the kids, got a boxing bag set up, and the boxing program has kicked off as of a couple of weeks ago. Helen Zill's tweet over there, meeting with Gavin and other principals to define solutions, and that was largely through PFP and through the work that Nadia did to facilitate that kind of meeting. And when you speak to people like Helen Zill, things happen. And straight after the meeting, she was picking up the phone to Don Plato and organizing this, that, and the next thing, and everything was sorted out in a week. That wouldn't have been possible without Partners for Possibility. For me, and just to echo what Gavin said, we started off as a partnership. That partnership evolved into a relationship, and it has indeed become a friendship. I've realized that even though we come from very different backgrounds, we have much in common in terms of our family history, in terms of our age, in terms of we've got 3 children of around about the same age. One's even got the same name. And it was a real realization that we have so much in common. Even though we come from completely different backgrounds and have completely different realities, there's so much more that binds us than what keeps us apart. A key focus for us this year has been acknowledging and appreciating the educators. These educators are operating under incredibly stressful situations and circumstances. And Gavin is such a selfless leader. He just always is wanting to put his educators first. So a lot of our attention this year has been around appreciating these educators, letting them know that they're seen, that their work is valuable. WindLab, my company, hosted a Christmas party at the end of the year. We sponsored a Christmas party. And I went out with the teachers and we bought all the goods and snacks and drinks and whatever, and we had the most amazing morning. And then the next day they had a really fantastic party. We gave them all certificates. Each and every one of the educators got a certificate acknowledging for them for the amazing work and got a small gift. And one of the highlights for me was at the beginning of the year, we did a staff development workshop, which was facilitated by a wonderful lady who came on board and helped us out, called Lauren Ratcliffe. And she gave up her time and hosted a staff development workshop in a beautiful area of Constantia called Little Streams. And it was just such a great start to the year to get together with all these educators in this beautiful environment and talk about what we can do to make the team stronger. Lauren also helped us with a website that she's developing and a video that we're going to show you a little bit later. Sorry, can you go back? The other positive, really nice thing that came out of it was we went into a partnership with the Shine Literacy program, who are pioneering a partnership. We were one of the first Partners for Possibility schools to bring a love of reading to grade 2s at Hillwood, and that was a real highlight. But as I said earlier, this program has really given me some profound realizations. I've learned so much about education. I've learned so much about Lavender Hill. I've learned so much about challenge. I've learned so much about resilience, about strength. And I've learned about my privilege. And I recognize what a privileged life I've had. And instead of feeling guilty about my privilege, I realized that I can mobilize and I can utilize my privilege for the benefit of others. And because of my privilege, I have amazing networks. I have amazing people that I can tap into who have skills, who have resources, who have abilities. And I can mobilize them. And I can mobilize them for the benefit of the school. So there's often the thinking of people saying, I really want to make a difference, I don't know how. Partners for Possibility is an amazing program that allows people to make a significant contribution to a school. And the school is such a powerful agent of change in this country. And it's a very inspiring process to be part of. Now, Gavin actually doesn't know this was going to feature in the presentation. I snuck this in after I'd sent him the presentation. But I really wanted to just to put in there, because for me this really captures how Gavin is seen by his staff. He only started at the school at the beginning of last year. And I think it's incredibly tough to go into an established school environment and perform, and you have educators that have been there for 40 years who don't like change and who don't like anything. And I've seen how the staff and how his educators react to Gavin. Gavin is an incredibly principled leader. He's an incredibly powerful leader. He leads with quiet authority. He demands and commands respect, and he just puts his staff first, and they really love him. And you can really see it when you see how they interact with him and how they communicate with him. And that was just appeared on Facebook. That's one of the certificates that we printed for all of their staff members. Gavin didn't get one on the night because he was dishing them out. And I was very happy a couple of days later when I saw that his staff members had found the certificate and issued it to him with those wonderful words that you see over there. So yes, this is the video. I hope you've got some sound, but this is the video that Lauren Ratcliffe and helped us put together, which just gives a little bit of an overview about Hillwood Primary and the wonderful teachers and kids that attend this lovely school.